What if everything you see around you right now, your phone, the building you're in, the chair you're sitting on, even the video you're watching, started as nothing more than someone's imagination? What if I told you that every single breakthrough, innovation, and life transformation in human history began not with action, but with a simple thought experiment in someone's mind? Here's something that will blow your mind. Scientists estimate that you have approximately 60,000 thoughts per day. That's roughly one thought every 1.4 seconds while you're awake. Now here's the kicker. 95% of those thoughts are the same ones you had yesterday. And if you're like most people, many of those repeated thoughts are focused on what you don't want, what you're afraid of, or what's going wrong in your life. But what if you could flip that script? What if you could harness the same mental power that built civilizations, created masterpieces, and launched rockets to the moon, and use it to design the life you actually want to live? Today, we're diving deep into What You Imagine You Create by Kelvin W. Nathan, a book that reveals the hidden mechanics of human imagination and shows you exactly how to turn your mental movies into real-world results. This isn't wishful thinking or positive psychology fluff. This is about understanding the scientific principles behind how imagination literally reshapes reality. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your imagination isn't just a fun mental playground. It's the most powerful creative force in the universe. You'll learn practical techniques that successful entrepreneurs, athletes, and innovators use every day to turn their visions into reality. And most importantly, you'll discover how to stop accidentally creating what you don't want and start deliberately designing what you do want. So, if you're ready to stop being a victim of your circumstances and start becoming the architect of your destiny, let's explore how your imagination is the blueprint for everything you'll ever create. Kelvin W. Nathan isn't just another motivational speaker telling you to think positive. He's a researcher who spent decades studying the intersection of neuroscience, quantum physics, and human potential. What makes Nathan's approach revolutionary is how he bridges the gap between ancient wisdom and cutting-edge science, showing us that imagination isn't mystical, it's mechanical. Nathan's work draws from studies in neuroplasticity, quantum mechanics, and cognitive psychology to explain something that ancient traditions have known for millennia. The images in your mind have real, measurable power to shape your external reality. In a world where most people are passive consumers of their circumstances, Nathan offers a blueprint for becoming an active creator of your experience. This book matters because it gives you the instruction manual for the most sophisticated technology you'll ever possess, your own mind. Chapter 1. The Imagination Factory. Let me ask you something. Right now, can you imagine biting into a fresh, juicy lemon? Can you see the bright yellow skin, feel the texture, maybe even taste that sharp, sour flavor? If you can, congratulations. You just proved that your brain cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. Nathan starts with this fundamental truth. Your subconscious mind processes imagined experiences as if they're actually happening. When you visualize that lemon, your mouth actually produces saliva. When athletes visualize their performance, their muscles fire in the exact same patterns as if they were physically executing the movements. This is what Nathan calls your imagination factory, the mental workshop where all creation begins. But here's what most people don't understand. This factory is always running. It never stops producing. The question isn't whether you're using your imagination. The question is whether you're using it intentionally or letting it run on autopilot. Think about your typical day. How much time do you spend imagining worst-case scenarios, replaying past mistakes, worrying about future problems? Nathan reveals that when you do this, you're not just thinking. You're actually programming your subconscious mind to create more of what you're focusing on. Here's the science. Every time you imagine something vividly, your brain creates neural pathways as if that experience actually happened. Repeat the same mental image often enough, and those pathways become superhighways. Your brain then starts looking for opportunities to make that imagined reality come true. This explains why people who constantly worry about getting sick often do get sick. Why people who imagine themselves failing often find ways to sabotage their success. Your imagination isn't neutral. It's constantly broadcasting instructions to your subconscious about what to create in your life. But here's the exciting part. Once you understand this principle, you can flip it. Instead of accidentally programming yourself for problems, you can intentionally program yourself for success. Your action step for the next 24 hours, become aware of your automatic imagination. Notice when you're mentally rehearsing negative scenarios or replaying problems. Don't judge yourself. Just observe. Awareness is the first step to taking control of your mental factory. Nathan shares the story of Jim Carrey, who used to drive to the Hollywood Hills as a struggling comedian and write himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered. He would sit there holding that check and imagine in vivid detail what it would feel like to be a successful, wealthy actor. Years later, he received his first $10 million paycheck for his role in Dumb and Dumber, just before the date he had written on that original check. Your imagination isn't just daydreaming, it's the preview of coming attractions in your life. Chapter 2. The Blueprint Principle. What's the difference between a pile of building materials and a magnificent skyscraper? The blueprint. No architect would ever start construction without first creating a detailed plan. Yet most people try to build their lives without ever creating a clear mental blueprint of what they want to create. Nathan introduces what he calls the blueprint principle. Everything that exists in the physical world first existed as a clear, detailed image in someone's mind. The Wright brothers saw themselves flying before they ever built their first airplane. Steve Jobs envisioned the iPhone years before the technology existed to create it. Walt Disney could see Disneyland in his mind so clearly that he could walk others through it before a single brick was laid. But here's where most people go wrong. They create vague, wishy-washy blueprints. They say things like, I want to be successful, or I want to be happy, or I want more money. That's like telling an architect you want a nice building. Without specific details, your subconscious mind has no clear instructions to follow. Nathan reveals that your imagination works like a GPS system. If you put in a vague destination like somewhere nice, you'll end up driving in circles. But if you input a specific address with clear details, the GPS can calculate the exact route and guide you there step by step. The most successful people in every field understand this principle intuitively. They don't just hope for success. They architect it in their imagination first. They see, feel, hear, and experience their desired outcomes in vivid mental detail long before they manifest in reality. Here's how to create a proper mental blueprint. Specificity. Instead of, "I want a better job," imagine yourself in a specific role at a specific company, earning a specific salary, working with specific types of people. Sensory detail. Don't just see your goal. Feel it, hear it, smell it. What does success feel like in your body? What sounds surround your ideal day? The more senses you engage, the more real it becomes to your subconscious. Emotional connection. This is crucial. Your subconscious is motivated by emotion, not logic. How will achieving this goal make you feel? Proud, excited, free, peaceful? Tap into those emotions during your visualization. Present tense. Don't imagine "I will have" or "I hope to be." Imagine "I am" and "I have." Your subconscious operates in the present moment. Your action step. Choose one major goal in your life. Spend 10 minutes creating a detailed mental blueprint. Write down exactly what it looks like, feels like, sounds like when you've achieved it. Be ridiculously specific. The clearer your blueprint, the faster your subconscious can build it. Nathan shares the story of a woman who was struggling financially and created a detailed mental blueprint of receiving an unexpected check in the mail. She imagined opening her mailbox, seeing the envelope, feeling the excitement, even pictured the exact amount. 3 weeks later, she received a refund check from her insurance company for the exact amount she had imagined. Money she didn't even know she was owed. Your imagination isn't just creating pictures in your head. It's creating instructions for your reality. Chapter 3. The Reticular Activating System. Have you ever noticed that when you're thinking about buying a particular car, you suddenly start seeing that car everywhere? Or when you learn a new word, you hear it multiple times in the same week? That's not coincidence. That's your Reticular Activating System, RAS, at work. Nathan explains that your RAS is like a filter in your brain that determines what information gets through to your conscious awareness. Out of the millions of bits of information hitting your senses every second, your RAS only lets through about 40 bits, the ones it deems important based on your focus and beliefs. Here's the incredible part. Your RAS can't tell the difference between what you want and what you fear, what you love and what you hate. It simply brings you more of whatever you focus on most intensely. This is why people who constantly complain about drama seem to attract more drama, while people who focus on opportunities seem to find them everywhere. Your imagination programs your RAS. When you vividly imagine achieving a goal, you're essentially telling your RAS, "This is important to me. Show me everything related to this." Suddenly, you start noticing opportunities, resources, and connections that were always there, but were filtered out before. Nathan tells the story of a man who wanted to start a restaurant. He spent weeks imagining every detail, the ambiance, the menu, the satisfied customers. Within a month, he noticed a "for rent" sign on a building he'd driven past hundreds of times. He met a chef at a coffee shop who was looking for a business partner. He overheard a conversation about restaurant equipment for sale. None of these opportunities were new. His RAS just started filtering them in instead of out. The 3 steps to programming your RAS. 1. Clarity. Give your RAS a clear target by imagining your goal in specific detail. 2. Intensity. The more emotionally charged your visualization, the higher priority your RAS assigns to related information. Third, repetition. Your RAS responds to consistent programming. Brief, daily visualization is more effective than sporadic marathon sessions. Your action step. Before you go to sleep tonight, spend 5 minutes vividly imagining one specific goal. See it, feel it, experience it, as if it's already happening. Do this for 7 consecutive nights, and watch how your awareness starts to shift. Remember, your RAS is always working. The question is whether you're programming it intentionally or letting random thoughts and fears do the programming for you. Chapter 4, the quantum connection. Now we're going to dive into something that might sound like science fiction, but it's actually cutting-edge science fact. Nathan explores how quantum physics validates what mystics and philosophers have been saying for centuries. Consciousness plays a fundamental role in creating reality. At the quantum level, the smallest building blocks of matter, something extraordinary happens. Particles exist in what scientists call a superposition of all possible states until they're observed. The famous double-slit experiment proved that the act of observation literally determines how particles behave. In other words, consciousness doesn't just observe reality, it participates in creating it. Now, Nathan isn't suggesting you can magically manifest $1 million just by thinking about it, but he is revealing that your consciousness, including your imagination, interacts with the quantum field in ways that can influence probabilistic outcomes in your favor. Think of it this way. Reality isn't as solid and predetermined as it appears. There's actually a range of probable futures available to you at any moment. Your imagination, when properly focused and emotionally charged, can influence which of those probable futures becomes your actual experience. This explains why visualization works not just psychologically, but energetically. When you imagine a specific outcome with clarity and emotion, you're literally broadcasting a signal into the quantum field that increases the probability of that outcome manifesting. The quantum imagination technique. Step 1. Coherence. Create alignment between your thoughts, emotions, and intentions. Don't just think about your goal. Feel the emotions of already having achieved it. Step 2. Elevated emotion. Generate feelings of gratitude, joy, or excitement as if your desired outcome has already occurred. This creates a strong energetic signal. Step 3. Clear intention. Hold a specific image of what you want while maintaining the elevated emotional state. This combination of clear thought and elevated emotion is what creates quantum coherence. Step 4. Surrender. After your visualization, let go of the need to control how or when it manifests. Trust the process and remain open to unexpected pathways. Nathan shares the story of Dr. Joe Dispenza's research where participants who practiced this quantum meditation technique for just 4 days showed measurable changes in their gene expression. Their bodies literally began to reflect their imagined future reality at a cellular level. Your action step. Try the quantum imagination technique once a day for the next week. Spend 10 to 15 minutes in a quiet space. Imagine your desired outcome with vivid detail. Generate the emotions of already having it. Then release attachment to how it unfolds. The quantum realm operates on principles that seem to defy common sense, but the results speak for themselves. Your imagination isn't just creating thoughts. It's creating fields of probability that your reality can align with. Chapter 5. Overcoming Imagination Block. Let's address the elephant in the room. Maybe you're thinking, this all sounds great, but what if I can't visualize clearly? What if my imagination feels blocked, or I keep imagining worst-case scenarios? Nathan dedicates an entire section to the common obstacles that prevent people from using their imagination effectively, and more importantly, how to overcome them. Block number 1, the I can't visualize myth. Some people think they can't visualize because they don't see crystal clear mental movies. Nathan reveals that visualization isn't just visual, it's multisensory. If you can't see clearly, focus on what you would hear, feel, or even just sense energetically. Some people are more kinesthetic, feeling-oriented, or auditory than visual. Work with your natural strengths. Block number 2, limiting beliefs. Your subconscious mind has been programmed with beliefs about what's possible for you. If you try to imagine becoming a millionaire, but you have deep beliefs about not deserving wealth, your imagination will feel forced or fake. Nathan provides techniques for identifying and dissolving these limiting beliefs first. Block number 3, past trauma and negative programming. If you've experienced significant disappointment or trauma, your mind might resist positive visualization as a protective mechanism. Nathan emphasizes starting small and building trust with your imagination gradually. Block number 4, impatience and attachment. Many people give up on visualization because they expect immediate results. Nathan explains that imagination works more like planting seeds than flipping switches. You need to water your mental seeds consistently before you see the harvest. The reset technique for clearing blocks. R. Recognize. Notice when negative images or limiting thoughts arise during visualization. E. Examine. Ask yourself, what belief or fear is behind this? S. Substitute. Consciously replace the negative image with your desired outcome. E. Energize. Add positive emotion to the new image to make it stick. T. Trust. Release attachment to timing and trust the process. Your action step. Identify your biggest imagination block from the list above. Practice the reset technique whenever that block arises during your visualization practice. Nathan shares the story of a woman who couldn't visualize success because she was terrified of failure. Instead of forcing positive images, she started by imagining herself handling challenges with grace and resilience. This felt more authentic to her, and gradually her capacity for positive visualization expanded. Remember, your imagination is a muscle. If it's been conditioned to focus on problems and limitations, it might feel awkward at first to imagine solutions and possibilities. Be patient with yourself and trust the process. Chapter 6. The Creation Accelerators. Now that you understand the principles and have cleared the blocks, Nathan reveals the advanced techniques that can dramatically accelerate your results. These are the methods used by Olympic athletes, successful entrepreneurs, and high performers in every field. Accelerator number 1, future self-visualization. Instead of just imagining your goal, imagine yourself as the person who has already achieved it. What does that version of you think, feel, and believe? How do they carry themselves? What decisions do they make? Spend time mentally becoming that future self, and watch how your current behavior starts to align automatically. Accelerator number 2, reverse engineering. Start with your desired end result and work backwards. If you want to be a successful author, don't just imagine holding your published book. Imagine the book signing, the writing process, the moment you finished the first draft. the day you decided to start writing. This creates a complete mental pathway from where you are to where you want to be. Accelerator number 3, emotional anchoring. Nathan reveals that the strongest visualizations are emotionally charged. Instead of just seeing your goal, focus on how achieving it will make you feel. Will you feel proud, grateful, free, joyful? Tap into those emotions during your visualization and anchor them to specific mental images. Accelerator number 4, social visualization. Imagine not just your personal success, but how it positively impacts others. See your family's pride, your community's benefit, the people you'll be able to help. This adds depth and meaning to your visualization, making it more compelling to your subconscious mind. Accelerator number 5, the daily mental movie. Create a short 3 to 5 minute mental movie of your ideal day after achieving your goal. Include specific details. What time do you wake up? What does your morning routine look like? Where do you work? Who do you interact with? Play this movie in your mind every morning and evening. The master technique, holographic imagination. This is Nathan's most advanced method. Instead of linear visualization, you create what he calls a hologram of your desired reality. You imagine your goal from multiple perspectives simultaneously. See yourself experiencing the success. See yourself from the outside, as if watching a movie. Imagine how others see you. Feel the energy and emotion of the accomplishment. Hear the sounds and conversations around your success, your action step. Choose one accelerator technique that resonates most with you and practice it for the next 2 weeks. Don't try to use them all at once. Master one before moving to the next. Nathan shares the story of Michael Jordan, who was famous for his detailed visualization practice. Before every game, Jordan would mentally play through specific scenarios, making crucial shots, handling pressure situations, leading his team to victory. He didn't just imagine generally playing well. He rehearsed specific moments in vivid detail. This mental practice contributed significantly to his legendary performance under pressure. The difference between casual daydreaming and powerful creation through imagination is intentionality, specificity, and emotional engagement. These accelerator techniques transform your imagination from entertainment into engineering, the conscious engineering of your future reality. Your imagination revolution. As we reach the end of our journey through what you imagine you create, I want you to realize something profound. You've just been handed the keys to the most powerful creative force in the universe. Your imagination isn't just a nice mental ability. It's the same force that created every invention, every work of art, every business, every breakthrough in human history. Right now, in this very moment, you have the same creative capacity as every great innovator, artist, and visionary who ever lived. The only difference is that they learn to use their imagination intentionally, while most people use theirs accidentally. Kelvin Nathan's message is both simple and revolutionary. Stop being a passive victim of your circumstances and start becoming an active architect of your destiny. Every day, whether you realize it or not, you're using your imagination to create your tomorrow. The question is whether you're creating by design or by default. Think about where you are right now in your life. Every situation, every relationship, every success, and every challenge can be traced back to the images you've consistently held in your mind. If you don't like what you've created so far, the good news is that you have the power to imagine something different starting right now. Your future isn't determined by your past, your current circumstances, or what other people think is possible for you. Your future is determined by what you consistently imagine and emotionally invest in. That's both a tremendous responsibility and an incredible opportunity. The techniques you've learned today aren't just theories. They're practical tools that work. But like any tool, they only work when you use them. Your imagination is like a muscle. It grows stronger with consistent exercise and atrophies with neglect. Here's your challenge. For the next 30 days, commit to spending just 10 minutes each morning using your imagination intentionally. Not to escape your current reality, but to architect your future reality. Create detailed mental blueprints of what you want to build in your life. Program your RAS to notice opportunities. Use your quantum imagination to influence probability in your favor. Most people spend more time planning their weekend than planning their life. But you're not most people. You now understand that imagination isn't just wishful thinking. It's the most practical tool for creating change that exists. Every great achievement started with someone bold enough to imagine a different reality and persistent enough to hold that vision until it manifested. Today, that someone is you. Your imagination is your invitation to step beyond the limitations of your current circumstances and into the unlimited possibilities of what you can become. The life you've always dreamed of isn't just possible. It's probable once you learn to imagine it with the clarity, consistency, and conviction that Nathan has shown you. If this summary has opened your eyes to the power of your own imagination, then imagine what applying just one of these techniques consistently could do for your life. What would you dare to dream if you knew your imagination was the preview of your future reality? The canvas of your life is blank, and your imagination is the brush. What masterpiece will you create? Your revolution starts with your next thought. Make it a powerful one.